Welcome back to another video. If you found this video, you are probably trying to decide between the Redmi Watch 5 Active and the Redmi Watch 5 Lite. When I do a comparison video, I usually start with the shared features. This way, if you have a must-have feature, you can see if the watch that you're going to buy has it. Then I will cover the specific similarities and differences of the watches. I did a full review on both of these, so you can check out the description below or check out my channel for more information. For this video, I thought it would be a good idea to start with the Mi Fitness app, which is the app that you need to run these watches, and they both use the same app. Now I'm going to go through the app quickly just to kind of point out some of the features that they have. If you want a more detailed review, again, check out my full review on each of these watches. If you're not interested in the app, then you could just skip to the next chapter. To run this watch, you need to download the Mi Fitness app. You can get that from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. Both of these watches are compatible with Apple and Android. Now, the app is fairly straightforward, pretty easy to use. So I'm just going to go through the app quickly here just to show you the different features that they both share. So they both have heart rate and sleep tracking, the blood oxygen they both have, and they both have stress detection. They don't have blood pressure measurement. Again, the software is a little limited, and they have some features in here that are not available on the watches that shouldn't be listed here because that, I think, confuses people. But then you also have a vitality score, which is basically your activity for the last 7 days, similar to a PAI index on the Amazfit, if you are familiar with that. Now, if we go back to the heart rate here, both of them have high heart rate and low heart rate detection, and you can change the frequency on them. These are your options. And we have blood oxygen. So with the SpO2, you either turn it on or off. There is no changing of the frequency of it, but there is a low SpO2 reminder if you need it. Stress, same basic thing. You can't change the frequency of it. You could either turn it on or off, but you could set it to give you a reminder if you do get very stressed. Then we have the workout page here. Not much that's here. So let me get into the device portion of the app, which has most of the stuff I want to go over. The watch faces, you can hold 6 watch faces on each watch, which is a little less than the usual. And most of the watch faces are not very customizable. Some of them you can change like the color or maybe one complication or something like that. But most of them, what you see is what you get. You can also make one of your pictures the watch face. So I'll just show you how to do that. If you go into the custom section here, and then this is the albums. This just shows you the different clock configurations that are going to be shown. You can see this is bigger and on the top. This one's on the bottom. This is an analog, but then your picture will be on the back. All you need to do is just click it and then click your photo that you want to pick. You cannot take a picture and then put it on there. It already has to be on your gallery. And then you just pick which one you want. So that's a nice feature that they offer. Now, notification and calls. You can decline a call with a pre-canned message. So if you click on here, you can reply with a message, and these are your quick responses. You can add your quick replies just right here, and you type in whatever you want. You could also edit these and delete them if you don't need it anymore, or you could also move them up and down by just clicking this little hamburger thing and moving it like that. That is for calls, but there is no way to reply to texts, which is a big disadvantage of the watch. So let me go into the fitness and health. Again, this just shows you what both watches are able to detect. The heart rate, the sleep, the blood oxygen, stress, standing time, and it does give you that vitality score there. Now, in apps, I just wanted to show you, because another frustrating thing about both of these watches is that you cannot change it from the metric system. I live in the United States, and I have no idea what a kilometer is, so it's kind of frustrating. But you can change from Celsius to Fahrenheit, which is in a different spot than you would expect. But if you click on here, these are the the apps that are available here. There's not much to do on any of them. But if you click on weather, this is where you change your unit right here, which is kind of hidden. Because usually when you pick your region, it should put it in if you're a metric or imperial system, but it doesn't for some reason. And that's where you have to do it for the weather. Now, in system, I just want to show you a couple of things because this actually is a benefit of both watches. If you click on here, these are a couple of things that you can do. Widgets is the main thing I want to show you. I'll go through these really quick. But widgets, if you click on here, you get to put 4 widgets on here. And the widgets are this. So if you scroll across here, these are the widgets. And you can customize these pretty well. There is actually a significant customization on this, which is better than a lot of watches. Now, you can hold a maximum of 4 widgets, but within each widget, you could have 4 little, information units there, or you could have 3 like this one, or you can make it just 1, where you just have, a big heart rate alert here, so you can see the measurement really easy. But if you don't want that, I could just take it, and if you drag down here, now I can delete it. Now I have 3, and now the add button shows up there. If I hit add, now this is my layout that I can pick. Again, there's 4, there's 3 with the bigger one on the top, there's 3 with the bigger one on the bottom, and then there's just one big widget if you want that. But if I click on the 4, if you click on here, you can see you could put almost anything into that little spot there. So if you want any information that you want, it will be here, and then you can put on your widget. Then you click on here to go to the next one. Again, the same exact features. So that's very customizable. And so with 4 widgets, if you had 4 little icons on each, you could have 12 different little apps or information units that you could see very quickly on this. So the widget customization is actually very good on this watch. Now, of course, you can customize the order of these things. So if you have it like this and I swipe over, this is my first widget, which correlates with that one. But I could just do this, hold it, and move it up here. And now when I swipe over, that will be my first widget that I see. So if you have one that you use more frequently than the others, you can put that one first. Now, you could also sort the apps. There is no third-party apps on this, so you can't add any. And these are the only apps that you can add. They're already installed on the watch. And then if you want to change the order on these, you just hit the little hamburger button here, and you could just move it like that. Now, another thing I just want to bring up is the sleep mode. Now, it will auto detect when you go to sleep, but even though it auto detects when you go to sleep, it doesn't automatically turn off the raise to wake. So when you have your watch like this and you go like this and it turns on, that won't turn off automatically, which is kind of a shame because that does kind of wake you up in the night. Also, there is a feature on here so you can tap the screen to wake it up, but there is no way to schedule that. So again, you go into sleep mode and the watch knows you're in sleep mode, but it won't disable those two things. You can schedule them though, and that is kind of a workaround, but it really should be an automated thing. But you can schedule the night mode, which just dims the screen slightly, which I didn't really notice any significant dimming, just for your information. Now, the do not disturb, you can actually schedule it, but this will actually automatically go on when it detects that you're in sleep mode, which is a nice thing. And then, of course, Find My Device, that worked perfectly on both watches. And then security. You get to put a pin on here if you'd like, and there is also emergency SOS on here. So if you do click this button 3 times quickly, it will contact your emergency contact that you put on there. But there is no LTE version on either of these watches, so you need to have your watch close by and connected through Bluetooth for this to make a phone call. And then this is not much to do there. So let me show you the profile. There's not much here, but another thing I just want to bring up. So if you go into app settings here, so I have this toggle on where you receive notifications from the app, and then I have this toggle on when I should receive connection alerts or disconnect alerts, basically. So when my watch gets separated from my phone, I should be getting an alert on my watch saying you left your phone somewhere at the restaurant or the store or whatever, and run back there quick to get it. This never worked for me. I did a bunch of different things to try to reset it and fix it, and it never worked on either of the watches. So I think that's a software issue which can readily be fixed. So that might get fixed in an update coming soon. But as of now, it doesn't work on either watch. Now, I also just want to show you the similarities between these two on the apps. So let me put this in here. Now, they weren't in the exact same order by default. I kind of moved them just so you could see it easily. But you can see here basically the same thing. The only thing that the Lite gives you is this running mode. I'll get back to that in a minute. But you can just see here, all the apps are exactly the same. I'm just going to sort of try to scroll these in tandem here, which is not so easy. But you can just see here, all the apps are exactly the same. Now, if you go into this running app, which is not available on the Active, this is basically just like interval training, kind of a non-customizable interval training. So if you want to go for a basic walk, you can see here, you just hit the I here, and it tells you what it is. It combines this, and these are the intervals. And then if you want to go to advanced run, again, you can just hit go and start working out. But if you do this, it tells you what it is, and then it tells you the intervals here. So you can't modify these at all, but it's kind of just a nice thing to keep maybe exercising a little more interesting. Let me talk about the design on both of these. So this is the Active over here, and this is the Redmi Watch 5 Lite over here. Now the screen size, I'll get into more details in a moment, but it's about the same size. And you can see here, we got one button on the side on both of these. Now this is the Lite. Believe it or not, these are both entirely made out of plastic, but this is like a metal spray finish that Redmi says is on there. This is like a matte finish over here, and this is a shinier finish over here, and that actually looks pretty sharp, I think. It actually kind of looks like metal, even up close, it kind of looks like that. And so the Lite does look a little nicer to me. Let me show you the back of these. This is the speaker that you get on both of them, and both of them actually have 2 mics on here. So there's a mic over here and over here, and one of them is supposed to be for noise cancellation to make the phone calls come a little bit better. The phone calls sounded okay on these. I mean, these are watches, so don't expect too much, but I was able to hear the other person fine, and the other person on the other line said I sounded fine to them. And the other thing I just want to point out here, this button here is very flush on both of them, so almost impossible to wrist press on this. I had no issues with that at all. And with both of these, there's only 2 functions on here. There's the quick press and the press and hold. There is no double press on here, and there's no way to customize any of those features. Now, if you're on your home screen and you press it, you go to your app list, and if you're on something other than the home screen and you press it, you go back to your home screen. And if you press and hold, then you get the power menu on here. And there you go. Now, there is the same battery size on these, 470 milliamp hours, and it's the same listed battery life, which is 18 days of regular use and 12 days of heavy use. But in my experience here, the Active did not keep up to those numbers at all, but the Lite was very close to it. So again, see the full video to see all the details about the battery life on this. Now, a big con for both of these is that neither of them have a light sensor, so neither of them have an auto brightness on here. So if you're setting your brightness for inside and then you go outside and then you can't see the screen, it's also not very easy to change it. So to change it, you would have to go into settings, and you got to go into display and then brightness, and then you change your brightness from there. But again, that's several steps that would be difficult to do if you really can't see the screen too well. So you got to kind of cover it and, do it like that. So not so easy. It should be on like a quick toggle over here that you could just hold it and get right into the display setting, but you can't do that on this, on either of them. And another big con is that you can't respond to texts at all. So this is a text, you get a notification here, and if I just swipe down, this is my text, and you can see if I click on it, there's nothing I can do. There's no quick reply or anything like that. It's just dismiss or, nothing. So they're dismissed and it's gone. And then also, just to show you, as I do have another text here, and you do get all the information here. So it doesn't matter if it's a long text, you will get the whole list of the text, which is really nice. On some budget watches, you get just like 1 or 2 lines, and it's barely enough to even know what's going on. But for this one, you will get the whole text. There is no images that will go on either watch, but at least you get all the text that's on there. But both watches can make and take phone calls, and that's a nice feature at this price point. Not every budget watch can do that. And if you get a phone call, you could also decline it very easily. Let me show you how the phone call looks here, and I have it set that I have to be wearing the watch to be getting the notification. So if I take off the watch and put it on the counter, then I don't get, the watch is not buzzing in the background all night. So I have it on now. Let me just show you what the phone call looks like, and I'll show you the options here. You can see here I could obviously end it. I can answer it, but then I could also click on this, and then this is my quick reply. So I could just respond to a quick reply here saying, hey, I'll call you later, or I'll call you back in 10 minutes, or I'm at work, whatever quick reply you want to put in there. So nice feature. Now, both watches are rated for 5 atmospheres, but just a note here, the Active does not have any water exercise tracking ability, so there's no water exercises listed in the workouts. Technically, Redmi says you can take it into the pool, but there is no water exercises listed here, so you can't record your pool swim or anything like that. With the Redmi Watch Lite, again, the same 5 atmospheres, but it does have 17 water sports as of now. So if you're really into the pool swim and things like that and tracking your activity while you're in water, then you want to get the Lite. They both have user replaceable straps. Any 22mm band will work here. Just quick release this on both ends here, and you can put whatever band that you want in there. So that's nice. That is not a proprietary band. Okay, so I talked about the design differences here a little bit, and there is differences in the screen. So you can see here the screen size looks pretty similar here, but there is a big difference between them. So on the Active, it is a 2-inch LCD screen, and on the Redmi Watch 5 Lite, it's 1.96-inch AMOLED display. And you can see the differences here, hopefully, on the video. But the big color difference here, you can see the light over here is much more vibrant. The colors look much better on there. The bezel sizes are about the same between them. I'll add the screen specs to the video here, but you can see here the AMOLED just looks much nicer. It looks cleaner, just more vivid, and just a nicer screen, honestly. But with the AMOLED display, you also get an always-on display. And with the LCD screen here, there is no always-on display. So that's a nice extra feature. If you really like the always-on display, then you definitely have to get the Lite. Another big difference is that the Redmi Watch 5 Lite gives you a built-in GPS, whereas the Active will just use your phone's GPS. And you can see my full videos on these, but the GPS I had issues with on the Active, it just didn't keep a good GPS lock, and some exercises weren't even counted because the GPS wasn't even linking to my phone very good for the GPS. With the Lite here, the GPS worked perfectly, it locked quickly, and it maintained connection throughout any kind of workout or exercise that I had. The prices seem to vary a little bit. I don't know if it's just because these things just came out or depending on which vendor is selling it, but the Active here is $50 to $60 US. And the Lite is $75. If you want my take on it, at this time, the Lite is only just a little more expensive than the Active, and the Lite does give you a lot more. You do get an AMOLED display, which is definitely nicer. That gives you also the always-on display. You also do get the built-in GPS. And in my use, the Lite was much better battery life than the Active. Again, you can check out my full review for those issues. But on the Lite, I got much closer to the company's battery life predictions. And both of them are 5 atmospheres, but only the Lite gives you a water sport exercises that you could track. So if you're into that, then you definitely have to get the Lite for that, because there is no water sports in the workout here. Now, I hope this video was helpful for you, and I hope that helped you make a decision. If you did like the video and you did consider it helpful, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing. I would really appreciate that, and it does help the channel out a lot. Thank you so much.